One. Hi, good day. Welcome to Hijab Mode, your program for fashion news. Here we have Fazeela Isaac. She is the founder and designer of Maseeha Instyle. So welcome.
Hi, assalamu alaikum.
Okay, so she's the founder and designer of Maseeha Instyle, and the designs is really great. I mean, it just stands out with the South African beauty, and she's gonna tell us more about her heritage and her brand and her philosophy of her brand, just basically. So when did you start your career as a designer?
Okay, so it's so weird, but I first learned how to sew when I was in madrasa. So that was after I was done with my schooling education. So I joined an institution to do an Arima course. And as part of the course, we had to learn home skills as well. And that included sewing and, home economics, etc. And I hated sewing. I hated the subject. So
Me
it is so
too.
weird. Yeah, so it's so weird that a few years later, it actually became my passion and it became a business and who I stand for, so
Yeah.
it is just weird. But so in 2013 is when I actually started Maseeha, and it just started being Maseeha, then it built onto Maseeha projects. And so under the Maseeha projects umbrella, we have different businesses, different industries under it. And one of them is Maseeha Instyle. So the Instyle is everything that has to do with fashion, and that is, of course, in the modest fashion industry. So that is actually where I come from with regards to this and how it started. So the name Maseeha, it's my daughter's name. So that's my first baby. So this is the reason why I decided, this is the reason why I decided to name business after her, because it's actually not just about having a business, but it was more for her as a Muslimah. That was the whole purpose of starting in modest fashion. So we know the pressure that comes with growing up being Muslim and having to dress appropriately in a Western country, because obviously South Africa is a Western country. It's, I think, slightly simpler if you're living in an Islamic state, because everybody's in hijab, everybody is dressed with your abayas, etc. But in South Africa, being a Western country, people are different. We have diversity. So everybody is dressed in their own way. And whether we like it or not, sometimes having your hair open looks beautiful, dressing in a certain way looks beautiful. So we succumb to the pressure of having to want to look that way. You look at celebrities, and celebrities are dressed openly. So it becomes a pressure-filled environment. So I did not want my daughter to grow up feeling the pressure of wanting to look beautiful, but un-Islamic. So this is what birthed the modest fashion passion that I had. It was more a personal thing to make sure that my daughter grows up dressing up elegantly, dressing up casually, dressing up in any way that she wanted to, but she has to be covered up. That was key for me. She had to follow the laws of Islam. The Sharia is so important. So I wanted to instill that in her and make her feel, you know what, I am confidently dressed as a Muslimah. So put a few things together. Put a few outfits together, and I was like, no. So I have a lot of friends and a lot of family, and we are a bunch of females. So I decided, why not then help other women also build up the confidence of dressing up Islamically and still feeling like you are beautiful and like you matter. So that's basically the story behind bringing Maseeha Instyle.
That is such a great story, and like that is a great motivation too, for your brand. I mean, like your daughter is the most, like she's the most beautiful in your life. Actually, that's what defines it, and that's it's not comparable to any kind of motivations, to be honest, because
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
I have a mom too, of course. Well, my relationship with her, of course, is as unique and as special as no other.
Yes,
And
and that's the
that
thing. That's
feeling
the
is
strongest
not
bond that
just,
you form.
yeah, sorry.
I say that's the strongest bond that you would form.
Mm, yeah, okay. So, like talking about your brand, right? These colors appear to have an exotic kind of palette. Explain why you have chosen the dynamic.
Okay, so South Africa is known for being bright. We have variety. And when we talk about variety, it's not just a variety of cultures, not just a variety of religions, but we have a variety of people. So the Maseeha brand wants to be purely South African in that it wants to encompass all of these beauty of South Africa. So we are a colorful nation, very colorful nation. So, in order to bring that out and to be recognized as a South African brand, we decided our clothing will also represent our cultures and also represent who we are as South Africans. And that is key in forming an identity. So, that is basically what it is when it comes to colors. If you look at the colors that we have, they're very bright and they are bold and they are eclectic colors. So, they are there to bring out that sunshine that the African sun brings to you. You know, your clothing needs to reflect who you are, because when you wear something, people identify with you in a certain way. So our colors actually represent the fact that we are a bold nation, we are a strong nation, we are a nation full of colors. So that's where that comes from.
Yeah, like I love the color red. Like it's so bold and it fits the red
Yes.
lipstick kind of. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It looks stunning. And it brings out the best in anyone. If you are going to be um, dressed according to your mood, why not be bright and colorful and just brighten up the next person's day? I think it's absolutely
Oh my
fantastic.
God, yes. Of course. For someone who is confident and the brand is actually trying to make modest fashion a really comfortable space and
Yes.
and for confident women.
Yes, absolutely. That is key for us. We feel like when you dress up, you need to dress up and be confident about what you are wearing and not feel deflated. Every woman knows if you want to feel better, you go shopping. So we want
Girl,
to
yeah,
make sure
of
that
course.
that experience is an experience that brings out not just your physical appearance, but your emotional well-being as well. It's also an emotional connection that you have to the clothing that you wear. So if you feel good, you look good, or should I say, if you look good, you feel good. So we like bringing in, you know, the psychology into dressing as well, and that
Fashion
is just what
psychology.
it is. Yes, absolutely.
Great. Um, so how does South Africa define the appearance to be modest? Actually,
Okay.
because we talk a lot about South Africa, how it's a colorful nation, how it has
Yeah.
vibrant colors.
Yes. So the fact that we have different cultures in South Africa, I'll just name a few of them, right? So we have the colored people, okay, who also form part of the Malay community. So their style, their modest style, they have beautiful, beautiful outfits, and they love sparkly clothes. They love bright colored clothing. They love hijabs that have glitter and glow on it, you know, and sequins on their clothing. So that is more what they are about. Then we have our sisters from the African cultures. The African cultures have bold prints. They have outfits where the prints are in certain shapes, in certain ways, but all of them are loud and proud, and they bring out the different cultures. All right. So then we have our Indian sisters, and the Indian sisters are more of toned down colors. You know, you will find them dressing in more of, apart from your Punjabis, etc. Most of them who are the Niqabis, they will actually have the plain black abayas. You know, they will have the neutral colors, all of these things. So we have different women in South Africa, and their colors are different. Their choice of colors in their dressing is different to each other. Yet, when they are all together, it's a beautiful rainbow. But everyone is modestly dressed, everybody looks stunning, and everybody is representing their culture with the colors that they have on them.
That's really interesting because contrary to popular belief, people thought that maybe like people who don't know about South Africa very much, it's not really a multicultural country. And now you're saying that, oh yeah, it's a pretty multicultural country. I mean, there's one from the Malaysian, yeah, Malaysian kind of ancestry,
Yes,
and then the
yes.
yeah, those yeah.
Yes, and then if you look, as I mentioned, I'm from the Makwa tribe, of course, right? We spoke about this. So, um, our people as well, when they were brought into the country, they had met with other people on the way here. Of course, when you're coming in on slave trade, etc., other people from other nations are brought in also into the country to work in the fields, etc. So they brought their culture here as well. So we have a community in the Durban area, and that is full on Makwa people in the entire community. So a reflection of South Africa is the different cultures that we have. You know, some are not heard of, like you said. You know, a lot of people have a misconception internationally about South Africa, but you will only know once you try and get the knowledge of what we do have. We are rich in culture, absolutely rich in culture, and I think it's about time that we took the global world by
Yeah,
storm.
yeah,
People
there's
should
actually a kind of
recognize.
movement, the movement that like Africa is actually different. Like for example, Nigeria is different, Algeria is different,
Absolutely.
because they all have
Yes,
different history. And then yeah,
exactly. The thing is,
okay.
people just have a misconception and they just don't want to find out what it is. But again, also, we as South Africans should not be shy about teaching people who we are. You know, they need to be introduced to the reality of who we are. And we are beautiful people. We are people who are united in so many aspects. And when it comes to something like modest fashion, this brings all of our females together. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the
Including.
perfect match. Yes.
Yeah. I love that. I love that kind of mission, especially for your brand. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, it's really much appreciated. It's more about representation, not just about the clothes. So so that's so that is modest fashion. It's much more deeper than ordinary fashion. It has a lot of
And that is
representation.
it. Yes, that is it. It's about more than just clothing. It's about more than having just a business. You have to have a purpose. And that is what will make it successful. That is what will make people stand up and notice you. You know, again, it's not just about the clothing that you wear, but it's about bringing in the fact that we are Muslim and we are supposed to dress a certain way. But it does not mean that you only have to wear a big black abaya that, you know, covers you up and keeps you in a little corner. No, this is what we are trying to move away from. We are trying to break the stereotype and make sure that women and little girls feel comfortable in knowing that I can still slay, but be following the Sharia at the same time.
Yeah, that's so true. And like the reason why some women are struggling maybe because they thought it's the abaya thing, probably.
Exactly, exactly. Like we love our buyers. We absolutely love our buyers. So we would obviously cater to our clients who would wear their buyer. I myself, I love our buyers, right? But we are not all the same. Like I say, growing up in a country where there's variety, you have to learn to not just acknowledge, but to accept and embrace everybody around you. Like something that we've been working on with the Maseeha brand is inclusivity. We want to make sure that everybody feels inclusive, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your race, regardless of your body size, your body shape, regardless of your culture. We want to make sure that we are one brand that brings in a family effect, a family and a sisterhood. When I talk about family, I'm talking about a sisterhood. We want all of our women to see, you know what, this is a one-stop place where all of us can come together. All of us can come together with one brand and dress stunningly and still feel confident about it.
Yeah. So talking about skin tone or skin color, why is it very important for Maseeha Instyle?
Okay, so um, like I said, I keep harping on about the variety, and that is really why how we decide on our colors, how we decide on our designs, how we decide on everything that has to do with what goes out into our store. So when it comes to skin tone, right? We have different people with different skin tones. We have very fair, light skinned people. We have very dark skinned people. We are in Africa after all. So different people in different areas of South Africa due to the different weather dynamics that we have in different places. So you're going to have different skin tones, of course. So you're going to have to wear clothing that's going to complement your skin tone. You can't be super fair and wearing an absolute bright color, because then your face will be drained out in that. Again, you also can't be super dark and then be wearing a color that's going to accentuate that darkness. So we always make sure that our color palette across the board is something that is suitable. So when a client also purchases from us, we don't only just sell it to you and that is it, that is the end. No, we actually do advising. Okay, we advise our clients on what would be suitable for them, what type of cut would be suited for them, what kind of pattern would be suitable for them, what kind of colors would actually complement their tone, as opposed to making it uncomplimentary, basically. Okay, so it's not just a role of being a seller to clients, but we also advise them on how to accentuate the outfits and look better in them as well.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. I mean, like, I agree on custom design. I mean, every brand should provide
Yes, that is
customized
true.
designs. So
Yeah, so we can put a few together, like pret-a-porter outfits, and then we will get one client who will maybe want just a slight tweak, and we absolutely cater to that. So we would advise them on what they can do or what we can do for them in order to just give them that a little bit of exclusivity in the actual outfit that they are purchasing. And that is brilliant. They love it. Absolutely love it.
yeah, especially when like your brand actually already showed the palettes that you're going to use, and then they can choose which one. So
Yes.
there's a lot of exposure to options.
Yes, exactly.
What is the correlation or relationship between Maseeha Instyle and your Makua tribe heritage?
Okay, so when it comes to that, the Makua people are actually all Muslim people, predominantly an Islamic tribe, an Islamic nation. So, like I said, they were brought into South Africa during the slave trade, etc. But we are now thriving. We are now absolutely doing the best that we can do at this point. So they are predominantly, or we are predominantly Islamic tribe. So that comes in together with the brand in uplifting the Islamic community and making sure that our females are actually strong Islamically. And that starts with the way that you dress. Not saying that if you don't dress Islamically, you're not strong. That's not what we are saying. What we are saying is it's a good footing in society to be comfortable in your Islamic heritage and in your cultural heritage. So if you are strong Islamically, like we have a lot of outfits there. We have a cloth that we wear, we call it a mkumi. So the mkumi is diverse. You can make it a hijab, you can tie it in the nice African style on the head, right? In your turban styles, you can use the mkumi as a skirt as well. You use the mkumi as a sash over your plain abaya. So the culture is so beautiful in that the outfits that we wear culturally, they actually exemplify and they accentuate the Islamic way of dressing. And that is the mesh up between the Makua tribe and the Maseeha Instyle brand.
Right. So that is your target positioning for Maseeha Instyle, like the majority of it.
The target market is just, like I say, we have different types of clothing. We like inclusivity, so we try to include everybody in this. So our range goes from, like I said, we have pret-a-porter and we also have the bespoke patterns as well. So with the types of designs that we have designs for the more conservative, those that wear the black abaya, the neutral color abayas, we have those as well. Then we also have the summer dresses, we have the kimonos, we have the pantsuits.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have all of this, which is going to be, or should I say, which shows and displays the inclusivity that we have. We cater for plus size females, we cater for the petite size females, we cater for curvy females, so we have designs, and we like to start from our kids from 7 going right up to adults. The reason why we want that is because we want to instill the love for hijab and the love for modest wear with our younger kids, because once you start at a younger age, like a tree, your tree, when it's growing, if it's bending, you pick it back up, right? So for us, we want to try and make sure that while the tree is growing straight, it stays straight. So we want to make sure of that. So we start with our designs for kids. We cater our market is for a younger age, from 7 right up to our adults.
Right. Okay. So like your slogan, according to your website, it's like fierce, like the fierce woman kind of thing. So so how does that work actually for you yourself as a designer too, as the founder?
Yeah. So
and it's a stranger to the journalism world too.
Yes. So the definition, by definition, being fierce is being somebody who is recognized and someone who goes out and steps out in power. If you are not going to step out in power, then what are you doing? And when we talk about stepping out in power, I don't mean that you must be known by people. I mean, when you step out, people should recognize that you are a strong Muslim woman, and that is being fierce. And that is what we stand for, regardless of anything. Even if you are going through the most, we know as women, you go through a lot. And if you are able to leave your home and still make a difference, that is being fierce too. So this is what we encourage with our females, and this comes in the clothing that we bring out. When you feel confident, when you stand in front of that mirror and you feel confident in what you are wearing, you are now fierce. You are starting your journey of being fierce. Then you step out of your home, you go and do your job, or you're going to school, or you're going to university, whatever it is that you're going out there in the world to do it, you do it with such grace, such elegance, and people recognize and respect you for that. And that is being fierce.
So that is the Maseeha Instyle philosophy. It has a relationship with your daughter too. And
yes,
that's great.
Absolutely. She's so confident. I probably she is just so confident. She is so when I tell you, when we talk about fierce, it is exactly who she is. She is known for being that person. Alhamdulillah, she loves her schooling. She loves her everything that she does, she excels in it. So that is what I would want. That is what I need from her. And for her to also go and have the people who surround her to be the same way. And this is what we are pushing as a brand.
Right. Maseeha Instyle is brave, fierce, and bold.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We spoke about the journalism, right?
Yeah.
The thing that, the one problem that we have in South Africa is that we do not have collaboration that's strong enough. Okay, because for anything to make a difference, we need media. Okay, so our media houses are not so much modest industry, basically not just modest fashion, but they're not focused on the modest industry at all, right? It's very difficult to find somebody who will actually interview somebody who's in the industry, or find an article on the industry. If you can Google, for example, modest fashion in South Africa, you'll probably find 1 or 2 articles that were probably in like 2017 or like a long time ago. So it's not something that's in mainstream news, and that is what we need to change. This is what we need to do. So we had actually put a program together which was called Just Instyle. And what we did as Instyle, we would interview females who are designers in the modest fashion industry, and not just clothing designers, but women who were hijab tying designers, right? Women who designed bags, women who designed clothing. So anything that would accessorize a woman or that a woman would wear, these are women that we brought to the forefront and we interviewed them and we brought it out into the public, right? So this is key. This is what we need. We need more people in the media to bring out things like this. You know, we had to do this on our own purely because we saw, no one else is doing it, so let's give it a try. You know, it's very, very seldom that you would find modest fashion being spoken about here in South Africa, but in mainstream media. So it is absolutely needed. This is what will get us the global recognition that we deserve as South Africans. You know, we, like I say, we are rich in culture, and the world needs to know this. The world needs to understand that we have a lot to offer in the industry. So it comes from things like that. So collaborations is key.
It's key, and South Africa is multicultural, as well as Algeria, you know, Nigeria, and the west of Africa too. I mean, there's a lot of things that the world needs to hear about, other than United States of America.
Exactly. There's so much more to the world than that. But again, you know, it depends on who is controlling the media, of course, you know. So if the media can come to the party, then I think things will be a bit more level on the playing field.
Yeah, journalism don't really talk about fashion that much or take it really seriously.
Yes, and yet it plays such a big role everywhere because everyone has to wear clothes. So it's weird that they would not have such a strong footing in society. But then again, like I say, if we collaborate and we need to push this agenda, we as designers, we as store owners, we as journalists like yourself, you know, if we can all work together and we push things like this to the forefront, they cannot ignore us any longer. You know, we need to start the movement. The movements have been started. We just need to make sure that the platforms are there, and we need to raise and elevate this movement.
Yeah, there are a lot of influencers in South Africa that I see on social media.
Yes, we do have a lot of influencers, but do they get the same recognition as your internationally recognized ones? You know, we have quite a bit of them. Exactly. And yet, if you look at their content and if you look at the things that they have as the African, not just South Africa, but as the African influencers, they have so much more engaging content, you know, and educational content that is exciting, edutainment, you know, educational entertainment. So yes, so they can absolutely teach the world how to do this and how to be better at it, you know, but there's just no platform created for them.
Okay, noted on that, everyone. So last questions, right? What kind of impression would you want to make for your modest fashion show in June 2021?
Okay, so firstly, I have to say we are so excited to join it. We like really, really want to put in our best, you know, put our best foot forward with that. We're quite excited for that. So what we want to do, I decided I absolutely love philanthropy. I like doing volunteer work. I like doing community development. I'm very much into that. So what I actually want to do is I want Maseeha for this year to have a cause, you know, to push forward a narrative. So we want at the fashion show, we're going to display our message basically in terms of our cause. So that is something to look forward to. We want to send out a message to people. We want people to recognize not just Africa. We want them to know who we are as strong females in this industry, right? We want them to know that regardless of whatever we go through, that we always come out stronger and better than before. So this is what this is the message that we're going to come forward with in the designs that we have for the fashion show, the Manila fashion show.
Okay. Look forward to that. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you on your Modest Fashion Show in June
It's been an
2021.
absolute pleasure. Jazakallah so much for having us. And yeah, we're excited for that.
Here is Fazeela, the founder
All
and
right.
designer of Maseeha Instyle.